Hi, and welcome to another episode of Café 21. My name is Kyle, and in the hot seat today, we have David White, the CEO and Director of BGR Training. Welcome, David.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you for joining us today. So kind of before we get started, I just wanted to get a bit of your backstory, your background, and how you kind of fell in love with calisthenics and that sort of type of training.
Yeah, no worries. So firstly, I fell in love with calisthenics, that style of training, following a really bad knee injury that I got playing football. And then, at the time, going to the gym, focusing on lifting heavy weights and stuff. But then because of my knee injury, even just lifting a dumbbell to the bicep curls, I'd feel the pain go all the way down through my knee. So then physio recommended, body weight training, body weight squats and various leg exercises, and just to get a suspension trainer. So TRX was the one I got. Everyone in my space knows what that is. And I was like, I don't need a gym membership anymore because I'm just using my TRX. I started using it down the park. So I was looping it over the goalposts in a tree branch that was right beside the goalposts. Then I just started watching guys on YouTube, seeing all the with gymnastic rings mainly.
Yeah.
So I started using gymnastic rings as well, plus my TRX. And then that was the kind of when I realised there was a problem and that I could come up with a solution, and that's how my company kind of got started. But prior to that, no sort of business background. I went to uni, I'd done sport medicine. I dropped out because I thought it was terrible, man. I was like, why am I doing this? So much chemistry, and never done chemistry at school. And then from dropping out of uni, I ended up being a roofer. I've done roofs for like 2 years. And then that's probably when I started getting a wee bit entrepreneurial, because I started seeing different ways I can improve tools and different ways we could just solve various roofing problems that I said to the guys, this is a problem, can we do it better? Like, no, this is the way you do it. So I think that's probably when I became a bit more entrepreneurial, and then sort of combined that kind of spark of becoming a bit more entrepreneurial with my love for calisthenics training and this new idea that I created, and that's how I ended up where I am today.
Well, yeah, because just from listening to that, it sounds like you've had like quite an unorthodox type of journey in how you've come up with BGR. So I guess just leading on to my next question, just a brief explanation of what BGR is and kind of like the main challenges that you faced with coming up with the idea and like materializing it.
Yeah, so like the BGR is a product for bodyweight and calisthenics fitness training. It's for anyone to use anytime, anywhere. So compared to the competition, which are things like suspension trainers and gymnastic rings, we're a lot more compact, adaptable and versatile. So one of the problems that I was experiencing when taking my suspension trainer and rings to the park was that my bag was just this big tangled ball of webbing. And every time I had to set up, I had to untangle it. And as well, training in Scotland in the winter, like your fingers are like numb. And if anyone's used gymnastic rings, you need to like adjust it with a cam buckle, and it was just, it just wasn't nice. So that was the kind of problem that I experienced to let me start just running with it basically. But yeah, like I experienced so many problems trying to set up. Like I created, the idea came to me. I actually went back to college to study business following roofing, because the plan was I'm going to put some of these roofing ideas into fruition, and if I know how to roof now, and ideally I'd like to be the boss one day, have my own company. So that was the kind of plan for going back to study business. But yeah, while I was at college is when I came up with the idea and started putting it into practice. But the main obstacle that I knew was going to pop up was, how the hell am I going to fund this? Going to various product designers, and the costs were just like, I was like, there's so many zeros at the end of that. Like, why is that so expensive? So then obviously like time becomes a factor, because you go into all these pitching competitions and you pitch for funding or you get grants. Yeah, it's great, but it hardly puts a dent in what you want to do. So you just need to kind of do it in small processes. Okay, what can I do with the money that's available to me, and how can I create something that I can then take on and show to somebody who has a bit more money or a good contact, and say, oh, this guy's got a good idea. Because my first prototype that I showed at a pitch was a retractable dog leash. So I spent
Wow.
like £2 on it. And I took it to the pitch and showed it, and like I think there's 5 judges. 4 out of 5 of them were like, "What are you talking about?" But the one guy who owned a fitness equipment distribution company called Origin Fitness, he was like, "I know what you're talking about. That's good." He's like, "You're really early, but if you develop that a bit more, come back and see me."
Yeah.
So yeah, funding and time have been the 2 biggest challenges.
Wow. Yeah. I can imagine, because I think you started this journey quite a few years ago, and just seeing how it's kind of progressed. And I just wanted to ask, because I know you've kind of set up the companies or the business in the United States. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask what the main reason behind that was. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of something that happened like one night. Basically, I've just launched an Indiegogo campaign, and
Yeah.
it's really well. But to get the most out of an Indiegogo campaign or any crowdfunding campaign is sort of dependent on what you're going to put into your ad spend. So I'm going into this with, I think I had about £3,000 left in my bank account as I put that into ads. And I was speaking to a few companies, and like, that's not even going to build you like half an email list.
Wow.
But there was an option to partner with a company called Clearbank, and Clearbank offer loans that are specific to marketing, and they've got really good rates if you're doing an Indiegogo campaign. So they've kind of got a special deal. So the rules are, to get their funding, you have to firstly have raised $40,000 in your campaign, but also you need to have an American bank account. And to have an American bank account, you had to have an American company. So yeah, I think it was January. I just quickly rattled an application, didn't really look too much into what it actually meant. I was just like, okay, I need that money. I was sure a lot of companies have a US subsidiary. It's not the biggest deals. So yeah, I took a jump. And it took forever trying to get it open because of the whole COVID. So their version of Companies House was just like backlogged, and I was waiting to get a tax number. So that was a big hold up to launching the campaign. But yeah, the reason I made the US company was to get that loan funding for ad spend. But you know, since doing it, like there's so much opportunities that having an American company can create for you in the future. So yeah, I'm really glad that I've done it.
Yeah. Okay. That's really wonderful. And I just wanted to ask, because obviously COVID pandemic really affected everyone. I just wanted to ask specifically to BGR, because I know personally a few of my friends like really got into calisthenics like during the pandemic. So I just wanted to ask if how BGR was able to like weather that storm, and what do you think the future holds in the coming months and years?
Yeah, like it was a weird one. I mean, just before, and just as everyone was kind of starting up at the start of the year, then nobody really knew what was going on. And then obviously the lockdown kind of kicked off in March. But just before that, I was speaking to 2 investors, and you know, we met up a few times. And the last time before that, we went to this like small studio gym because the guy wanted to run it past his personal trainer because he didn't really have a clue about fitness. But I was like, I like you, I like the product, I kind of want to get into this. When they were going to make me a deal, and that fell through pretty quickly when the lockdown hit, because they've made their money in air travel, and obviously the airline industry just like shut down. So yeah, that went quiet, and I was like, okay, well that kind of mucks up my plans for the next few months because I was pretty confident of getting that money. But yeah, obviously fitness just like took off, like every fitness market just took off. We kind of missed that because, you know, we obviously didn't have a product in the market, but it kind of gave me a boost. I was like, okay, I really need to get this going because, you know, nobody knows when this is going to end. So I got a startup loan from the startup loans company, which is all personal, really. They put it into your personal account and you put it into the business account. It counts as a director's loan. But that allowed me to like finish off the last little bits of product development and pay for all the stuff I needed to get my crowdfunding campaign prepared. So like the content to create the promo video and like some photo shoots and stuff like that, and allow me to get a patent as well, so I could finally show off what it was that I've created. Yeah, and like then ran into loads of different hold-ups and hurdles, just no idea would pop up. But yeah, like there's still a huge demand for fitness products. I think a lot has changed in the industry. You know, people definitely changed their behaviours. A lot more people firstly working out, and then a lot more people who were going to a gym like choosing now just to work out at home. I think the whole of society is going to change. I don't think it's going to be a new normal like everyone's going to make it out to be, but definitely like London, for example, I can't see 100% of people still want to commute for however long, 2, 3, 4 hours a day. I think a lot more people are working out from home, and that's going to completely change the whole gym model. So gyms are meant to be in the places where they're most busy. So in London, for example, there's all these boutique studios and stuff. They want to get the people going to work in the morning, and then after work, that's going to change as well. So nobody really knows what the future holds. But again, another thing, I think it's going to be a lot more smart and connected. And we've been working on something as well. So we'll be making some fitness technology that's going to be incorporated into the BGR. But also we think that this can be pretty widespread and incorporated into a wide range of fitness equipment. So yeah, I'm working on stuff to prepare myself for the future. And the kind of business model innovation that I think will happen, essentially what Peloton have done. I'm working on something that can, I say, Pelotonize other companies. Firstly, Pelotonize my company, but I think we can help Pelotonize other companies as well. So yeah, there's a lot's going to go on in the future, but right now, I mean, I'm not in a position to say what.
Yeah, okay, well, wonderful. And obviously we're looking forward to presenting BGR at the STGC conference later this year. And I guess just to finish off, I'd just say, if you had one piece of advice to give a younger version of yourself starting off, what would that be?
I mean, if it was this week, I'd say don't do it. I would say, but no, in all seriousness, I would say do it earlier. Like I had like loads of like different ideas kind of before, and I do tend to overthink things. But like recently I've been jumping in a bit more, and I wish there's various other points over my sort of journey. I wish I'd just kind of taken a leap. I think BGR would be on the marketplace, and that's what it's all about. So yeah, don't overthink and take the risk. A calculated risk, but don't just take any risk.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for coming on today. It's been a pleasure to have you, and yeah, thanks. It's been wonderful speaking to you, David.
Cool. Well, thanks very much for your time.